Hey, this is Charlie.
This is JR.
Host of Speaking the Facts with Charlie and JR. Broadcasting live each week on Wednesday at 7 p.m. from Fishbowl Studios.
Log on to hear us speaking the facts on current events, family, and finances.
So be sure to log on each week on Wednesday at 7 p.m. to catch Speaking the Facts with Charlie and JR.
Tune in.
Oh, thanks for awesome.
What's up, y'all? We are back. This is Speaking the Facts with Charlie and JR. It is another Wednesday, and we did pretty good with the 7-ish today.
I know, right? We is on. This is on time for us.
Yeah, we are.
On time.
You know, this is on time for us.
Right. I love it.
So, I want to again say hello, welcome everybody back. I want to briefly tell everyone that Speaking the Facts with Charlie and JR is brought to you by Kiss Wealth Now.
That's right. Yay.
You know, Kiss Wealth Now
You're
is taking care of all of your residential and commercial real estate needs. And
That's
Charlie,
right.
tell them how to get in touch with Kiss Wealth Now. So
They can call me 214-738-4913 or go to my website, Kiss Wealth Now.
there you go.
There you have
And
it.
and yes, and definitely give them a call. They will take care of you there. They have
That's
taken
right.
care of me once and are about to take care of me twice. So
There you go. 2 times.
So I want to briefly acknowledge our alter egos, the Fly Guy and the Fly Girls. Don't call it a comeback because I've been Fly,
That's right.
you know, and and on the right over there I got Fly Money.
And look, I got the money. Got the money
Got
on
the
my
money
shirt.
on? Yep.
Yeah, got the money on. I'm
Yeah.
wearing it.
Yep.
Want everybody to know today.
And we got our producer in the back there, Kim. This just Fly. What's up, Kim? Hey. Oh, she's getting louder every time. Huh?
Every time. Yeah.
You know.
I might be able to get her back over here one more time. If she says no.
We got Kimmy in the back. What's up, Kimmy?
Hey, hey. My
She has
sister.
actually co-hosted this show, so she is
Yes.
she is definitely family. We got Evan over there on the knobs and faders. What's up, Evan? Yeah, so Charlie, I think I'm gonna, without any further ado,
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and let you introduce our guest.
Okay. Well, first off, I wanted to ask you a question though.
Okay.
So, I see you turning a little bit.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so your neck was bothering you. You know,
Yeah.
any you feeling a little bit better? Is it?
Well, you know, even though
a little housekeeping.
even though I am pretty spry, you know, every now and then, just getting old thing sucks.
They say it ain't
Every now and then,
Every
you know.
now and again, for
You know, just a
a
little
old
bit.
young man as you are. You know.
You know, but yeah, I've been dealing with a stiff neck ever since I moved. Ever since I moved.
Right.
So you know, I'm getting a little tired of having to do the
right.
You know, so yeah, so we're gonna work it out though.
All right. So
you know.
any chiropractors out there, you know,
That's right,
y'all let us
anybody.
know what he can do,
Yeah,
you know, to help that neck out.
that's right. You know, because I need to keep an eye on my co-host. So
There you go. That's right. So tonight we have Miss Deanna Armstrong. We're so glad that she's here. She's an executive leadership coach. And so what our show is about is thought-provoking conversation. And I think all of us need a coach. You know, we need someone to help us, you know, get along in our career and, you know, be able to accomplish the goals that we want to accomplish. So why don't you tell us a little bit about you and how you got into that field?
Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, as she said, I'm executive leadership coach Deanna Armstrong, and I've been in corporate America for over 20 years. Yes, I did start working when I was in my mother's womb. If you wonder.
That's right. That's right.
That's right. You were 5 days old. That's right.
Right, exactly. But I had worked a lot. I've done sales and marketing, and I also did work with like people and culture, so HR, diversity, and belonging work. And with a lot of that, you're coaching people.
Right.
And so I realized, you know what?
It's natural for you.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I've been doing, and making and having them a positive influence on them.
Yeah.
And so I
Gotcha.
said, well, is there anything, what is coaching? And I actually was given a coach a few years ago through work. I'm like, oh, now I understand what coaching is. I like this. I can do this. I've been doing it. And so I started my own company.
Excellent. So now with your, like you said, you've been doing this for 20 plus years, and this is like a natural thing for you. Is there a certain career type that you're trying to coach, or does it matter? I mean, you know, you have sports coaches, you have all different types of coaches. So is there a field that you're kind of wanting to stay, that you're passionate about?
And I work with really senior leaders, so like director level and above, C-suite, those. But I will work with everybody because I believe that a lot of times, especially in our community, there that executive presence and certain myths that we believe need to be unlearned. And so I'm open to working with everyone, but I do focus a lot on that very high level executive.
Gotcha. And so now with you, I tease when I say this, I see your stature, I don't want to add, I could ask how tall you are. I don't gotta ask the question.
But she told me she was tall when she got it. She said, I'm so tall, I need to go sit down in this chair.
Yes. So I'm sitting here next to this 6'2" woman here who's working with, like you said, executive level, really high, so you come in and you're like, these are powerhouse people that you're dealing with, and you come in, you're this tall little lady coming in,
right?
So does that have that? Obviously, you haven't let it stop you, but when you're walking in that room and you're working with these powerful people, have they ever said, "Wow, she looks like she's not at all aggressive," or she's not gonna make me do what I need to do? I mean, because coach, you need, they got to believe in you, and you got to, keep them and hold them accountable, So do they ever give you a hard time about that?
Not at all. I command every room I walk into.
Okay, go
That's
ahead.
what I'm talking about. She said
Every room. They know I'm here.
Absolutely. And they always wonder, like, am I the boss? Are you the one leading this? They come to me. And I think that's important to have that executive presence. And when you think about executive presence, it's actually based off of a 6'2" blonde, blue-eyed man.
Okay, right.
White guy.
Yeah.
And so it's that gravitas that you have when you walk in, that confidence, the way you speak, the way you even before you get there, the way you write. So it's very important for you to be able to just walk in, and I do, right? And it's intentional.
I own this.
So, it's very intentional. You have to be, especially if you're doing like on your own. I am my brand, so I have to make sure I'm looking the part.
And so what is the brand's name? I know Executive Leadership Coach, but there's a name behind it.
Yes, it is. So the name of my business is Armstrong Walker Coaching and Consulting.
So are we cousins? Did we find that out? We didn't even get a chance.
We didn't get a chance to talk about it.
It's your maiden name, my married name. So
It may be some relative somewhere down
Could
there.
be.
Yeah. And I don't meet a lot of Armstrongs outside of my family.
Okay.
So you're only the second one in my lifetime that I've met.
Okay, so where are y'all from?
My father's family is from Georgia.
Okay. Gotcha.
So that's where they are. So if your your husband's from Florida, from Georgia, then maybe they're related. I don't know. I don't know much about them.
They're from Texas.
Okay.
So probably not.
So I got a question. You said a minute ago, you said when you found out what coaching is, you had said that the coach can come in and you found out what coaching is, and you said, I can do this. So for the layman, what is coaching?
Yeah, it's a good question, that.
Yes. And so think about it. When you think about, especially if you have young kids, everybody has a coach today, right? If they're playing football, basketball, cheerleading, swimming, everybody has a coach in their life.
Right.
And so why do you have a coach?
To help you advance, to get better.
To develop skill.
To develop skill. Yeah. And so that's the same thing that I do, but I do it to help you in your career, to help you make money. A lot of times, too, they say it's lonely at the top. And it is, right? Because when you're the boss, if you're the CEO, you're kind of expected to know everything. So you're not too vulnerable to a lot of people. But me as a coach, I am able to give them the chance, a safe space to be vulnerable and to really help people to get unstuck.
Gotcha.
So everybody will approach a coach for different reasons. But at the end of the day, it's really to help you to perform better.
Yeah.
Do you have sessions that they hire you for? Say, well, this group, they're not going to want you to coach them, but I need you to go in there and coach them. Do you get those as well as the ones that ask you to come? Do you get the reluctant ones?
Of course you do, because coaching has different situations. Sometimes you will proactively, say, I need a coach, but you're talking about if your supervisor is like, you know what, you need a coach.
Yeah.
Right.
And so there is a little reluctance there, and you talk to them and you actually see if there's a chemistry between you and the client. And if so, then you move forward. 9 times out of 10, people want to keep their job, so they move forward with you. But if there's not a match there and that person really is in denial about what the people are saying that they need to work on, then I'll graciously say, hey, maybe I'm not the right person.
So why would corporate tell a person that they need a coach? What is it they see the potential in that person? So what are they trying to bring out? Or, that's probably a big thing, because a person might feel like, gosh, am I about to be fired, or is this a good thing? Or,
Well, every CEO has a leadership coach.
Okay.
They have a budget for it, and they have it. Most executives have coaches.
Okay.
And so I would hope that we can switch people's mindsets. It's very important. Just like you would have that coach for your kid doing karate or whatever, you need that coach for your career. You really do. And so I wouldn't take it that way at all. And I don't think most people do. And a lot of companies have what they call leadership development programs. All of the leadership development programs, I would say at least 90% of them will actually give you will give you a leadership coach to help you along that journey, because
Right.
it's somebody that'll hold you accountable.
Right.
And it's really helping people to think differently
So
in that
what-
thought partnership.
Yeah. So what kind of things get taught as a coach on the executive level? I'm a CEO, and I call you and say, hey, I need your help. You come in, you come in with your magic bag, but
I know. Exactly. It's like come with pen, paper, make sure you bring your number 2 with eraser, yeah. What are we doing? Yeah.
And really, if you think about it, a lot of people are book smart.
Yeah.
And the way we used to reward people it was based upon how they performed, but a lot of people don't have people skills. Right?
Gotcha.
So
Right.
those soft skills is a lot of time what you work on with the senior leaders and also getting them to think differently, thinking forward, thinking about transformation. So of course, a lot of talk now is on artificial intelligence.
Correct.
Or machine learning. So like yesterday, I did a talk at UT Southwestern to a group of physicians and researchers, and data scientists were there as well, just talking about how do you integrate intelligent machines into everything that we do? And
Right.
do you understand it? And what's the business point of that as a leader? How do you drive that change? Because most companies, you see it everywhere. Everybody's working on their AI strategy.
Correct.
There was even like a study that just showed that even like countries are being intentional about how they're putting generative AI into their system. So we talk about a lot of things. It's usually those forward-thinking things that you read in the business books. Like I'm a little book nerd, so I read a lot. So that I'm up on those types of things.
I love that. Yeah, and I will say that, when AI, everybody's still adjusting to it. And, obviously at the corporate level it was there first and it's trickling down. We're learning it. But, even with, I know when I talk to just some of the basic people that say, wow, how do I add this to my job, and how is it going to make my job easier, and could it potentially take my job, exactly. So these are things that definitely people are concerned about, There's a billionaire that I got a chance to meet briefly, and he has a software that he's paying for he's trying to get I think 100 million users, and he wants it to ask people to ask questions to it so they can build up the AI, so that way the AI will automatically have the answer for you, and it's already thinking, and if it doesn't have it, it's going to go get it and bring it back. Really, it's going to go in and take the place of underwriting or websites. Just everything is just you press a button, it's done. So more efficient,
Right. And you think about that, but you still need the human aspect, because the thing that people forget about is that AI is just a database and it's getting all this information from 1925, right?
All the way back
So
to
1920, whatever's been put into that system is going. So what's in that system? We used to not exist in movies,
Right.
Yeah.
right? So those
Right.
movies are in there. So you have a bias that's inherent in AI. So that's why you always have to have the human element there to make sure that you're watching out for that, because it just sees a bird as a bird.
Right. Yeah.
And so I know people are afraid of that it may take their job, but if you had that human component and you're adding that empathy, and the reason why they need you is because you can decipher what's right and what's wrong,
Right.
and you can detect
Job
those
security,
biases and
everybody.
things.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm Bob's CEO, and I call you and you come in. How will you improve me on the other end when I come out of your session? I'll be shinier and newer, but how will I be shinier and newer?
It just depends on why you're bringing me in. So we'll talk about it. What do you want to talk about today? Like, what's on your mind?
Okay, well, I think I'm kind of on an island by myself. I don't think my people. I don't think I'm reaching them. They see me as the boogeyman. I don't.
Mhm.
So do you get that a lot?
Yeah, you can get that, right? Like I just don't feel like I'm connecting with my people.
Yeah.
So, and I would just, I just met you today. So I just wanted to, if you can just let me get to know you a little better. Can you take me back to a time in your life where you think about it and you just say, you know what, that makes me smile, like just to get to know you better.
Oh, okay. Okay. Gets you to, get to disarm and
Mhm.
and so what do you think is holds leaders back? Is there a general thing that you would think that holds leaders back?
Well, there are actually assessments you can do, like on self-sabotage.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So there are different
Okay.
themes that. So if you felt like it was something holding you back, then we would look. First of all, we would assess your values. We would
Okay.
understand your strengths, but also we would figure out if there are any things that are in common that you're doing to sabotage yourself.
Okay.
And that's self-sabotage. That's huge because you have people who really, an old saying is get out of your own self's way, right? Get out of your own way so you can get out there. So what are the successful things that you are seeing in these leaders and executives that you're working with? That's something that the audience would be like, okay, these are, some traits that I want to work on, or maybe these are the traits I have, and maybe they realize that they can become a leader,
Right. I think though, I would like to address a myth with that.
Okay.
Okay.
And that myth is, I don't know if anybody ever told you, if you work hard, your work will speak for itself.
Mm.
Have you ever heard that?
Yes.
before?
Yeah.
Do you believe that?
You gotta work really hard.
You work hard, then your work
Yeah.
will speak for itself.
Right.
Because
Yeah. You're judged by the last task. You're judged by your last deed. So sometimes all the hard work can be taken away just by the last deed. So
Yeah. Or have you ever worked in a job where somebody got a promotion and you were peers? Like, how did that happen?
yeah.
I was smarter than them. I was number one. I did this, that, and the other, but
Right.
they still got the promotion.
Right.
and
The
I
other person
didn't.
got noticed because they were late to work. No. They took long lunches. But really, I mean, the person who goes unnoticed is usually the hard worker. They're quiet. They do everything. So no one has to say anything,
Right. And that's the myth, because your work does not speak for itself. Other people speak
That's right.
For you,
That's
right.
for
right.
you. Exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't talk.
Yeah.
So doing well at your job is just the entry point. And that's what those executives understand. So it's a thing called PI. It's your performance,
Mm-hmm.
it's the image, and it's your exposure.
There you have it.
So I'm sure we've all thought about, like, how did Joe get that job? I don't get it.
Right.
But you really think back. Yes, I'm number one, but what's my image? Am I coming in late?
Right.
Am I dressing the part? They always say that you need to dress the way your boss dresses, right?
Mhm.
I know we're in the relaxed culture now from
Mhm.
COVID and all of that, but if you want to be the boss, dress like the boss. That's why
Right.
people always think I'm
Well,
the boss, because I dress like the
okay.
boss.
Okay, go
That's right.
ahead.
So that image is very important, and you have to be intentional about it. And then
Yeah.
the other thing is exposure. Are you on any high value projects? Are you having an audience with those senior leaders
Mhm.
or with those decision makers? Are they able to see your work, and are you telling them about your work?
Right.
Because as women, especially, we keep our heads down and we're
Mhm.
working. Well, you can't do that. You need to, again, good performance is just getting you
It's
on the
just part of
field.
and so and repeat PI again.
Performance, image,
Image
and exposure.
I like
Okay,
that.
yeah.
I got to keep that.
Yeah,
I can't
yes.
keep that, right?
You can keep it.
Okay.
It's the pie of life.
That's right.
Yes.
So-
And so performance is only like 10% of the pie.
It really is, and I've because I was in HR for years, and I was working in my mother's womb too. So
We knew each other.
that's right.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah, we were sending each other messages. I'm like,
Yes.
how much you got done?
Right.
But when I got up to the level of HR director, but when I was a regional HR manager, and the new HR director came in, and after a couple of weeks, he called me into his office and he asked me, he said, "Do I intimidate you?" And I was, yeah, that's kind of the look I had.
Yeah.
I was kind of taken aback because he really didn't. But then I was wise enough to think, well, why is he asking me this?
Right.
What image am I giving this man that he's asking me this question?
Right.
So I had to take a step back and look at how I was carrying myself, and when I did that, I learned some things, and that part of my image was taken care of. I
Right.
was
Yeah, he
able-
probably wondering, like, hey, why are you not coming to me? Why are you not talking to me? Why are you
well,
not?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so I kind of got to the place where we would go out to lunch together and talk and plan things. Yeah, but I guess I was, so image is huge. Image can be the difference. Performance, just like people think that paying your bills on time will in and of itself raise your credit score, and it won't. In fact, if you don't have any available credit, you can pay your bills on time forever, and your credit score will still fall. So
That's right.
yeah. So so it's how we are perceived has to be at least as important as how we perceive ourselves. Is that
Correct.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it was great that somebody shared that with you, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
a lot of people don't have that honest and open conversation.
Right.
So it's important that you go and you ask.
Right.
So how do people see me? How do you see me when I come in? You know,
Yeah.
what do you think
Right.
about me?
Yeah. Am I approachable?
Am I approachable?
Right,
Yes.
Yes.
Because that's important. And also, a lot of people, like, say you're on a business event and everybody's going out to dinner. You're like, oh, I'm tired of those people. I don't want to be with them. Guess what? Put your big girl panties on and go to lunch or
Right.
go to dinner with them, because that's where the deals are being made.
Yes, yes,
That's
they
where
are.
the
That's true.
relationships are being
That is
forged.
true.
And
That
I
is
know we
true.
get tired of, being around people all the time, but you have to do it some of the time.
Right. Well, and the thing is, I think that when we have a project and we have something we're trying to do, most of us become recluses. We kind of step back and it's like, head down, I got to get this done. But you got to come out so you can know what's going on.
Yes.
Because, there's new ways that people are doing things. I like, one of the softwares I introduced my sister back there too. I went to an event week before last and I learned about this software. I'm like, oh, this is great. This is awesome. And on that particular day, I was like, oh, I don't feel like going. As a matter of fact, I was a little tardy to it. But I got there, I got the information, I met some great people, some great contacts. And so you have to get out if you are, in business, trying to grow in business, networking with the people that, that ultimately they're providing your paycheck.
Exactly.
You've got to do that because, connections is key. And through those connections is how money is made.
Yes.
Do you think that men or women are more receptive to leadership coaching?
Good question.
Do I think men or women are more
Which
receptive?
one is more receptive?
I think they're both receptive to it, because if once you get to a certain level, you realize that you're the only one without a coach, and you're going to get you one.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you're at a firm and you want to become partner. Everybody has a coach. You better get you a coach too to level the playing field. I tell my kids that, we need to go to tutoring. Why? I'm doing well in school. I say, yeah, all your friends have tutors. They go to this mathnasium all day, every day,
Right.
even in the summertime. So and then you wonder how they do better and they get an AP in honors classes, because that's their coach. That's their
Yeah.
math coach.
Right.
That's their English coach. So I
Right.
don't think it's a difference between men and women. I think it's people at a certain level that don't understand that exists. So now
Right.
all of you all know that this exists. So there are people out there that are sparring partners with you, like me, who can help you get to that next level.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's good. In fact, I'm glad that you don't see a difference, because, a lot of time, I think, especially men, I think our pride gets in our way.
I was going to say a lot of men feel like, yeah, especially, what is it that a woman can tell me?
Right.
But you have some men out there like that would not be receptive to it,
Well, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And they miss out.
Or they would just probably get a male coach. Now, I do believe that just like some people don't want a male massage therapist or a female, I think there
Yeah.
may be some people like that, where some women prefer women, some men prefer men, and some men prefer women, and vice versa. So
Yeah.
it just
Right.
depends. Yeah.
Yeah, what their preference is.
Yes.
And so now, are you right now the contracts that you have? Are you dealing mostly with corporation? Are you dealing with independent people? Kind of what are you seeing? Where's the need coming from as far as the private sector, the corporate sector? Because you're in corporate America, as you were saying.
Right. And so I'm just starting my business.
Okay.
So I have a combination.
Yeah,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I have a combination. So I have some personal one-on-one clients, and then I'm working on getting on the bench for corporations as well.
Okay, excellent. And so that speaking engagement that you had at UT Southwestern, was that through your current corporate status, or was this something that you did on your own?
This is Armstrong Walker Coaching and Consulting.
Okay, well, I was
That's what I'm
wondering.
saying.
I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
yes.
Yes.
And so,
yeah.
how are you working to get contacts, get leads to generate business for you? Because that's important. Because
Right.
we are self-employed people as well, and a lot of times people struggle on finding clients. Someone who's going to help fund your business. So,
Mhm.
how are you finding those people to help?
So I'm out there networking. And one thing we didn't talk about is because I'm from the biotech industry. And so there's a huge biotech hub that was just placed here in Dallas
Okay.
and announced last year. And so I've been networking in that arena.
Mhm.
And that's how I start to get a lot of my
Got you.
my
Biotech.
events. Biotech.
And see, and so for me, I'm like, whew, that's.
And that's
I start seeing pie graphs and all the things that I don't want to. Yeah.
But that's one of the things. So, and how we got to talking about this podcast, right? So I want people to understand what biotech is, because I want to make sure that we succeed here in North Texas.
Yeah.
Right.
And so you have a lot of those companies in San Francisco on the West Coast, and then also like in the Boston area on the East Coast. So the Biden administration said they wanted to have another biotech hub. And so all of the medical community in the state of Texas got together and put in a bid and actually won for that hub to be here in Dallas.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah. So we need to learn more about it, because one of the things I would like to share is, like, for example, as a part of it, if you want to bring these companies here, you need the workforce.
Yeah.
So
Right,
so there was a good jobs grant that was awarded to Dallas. And so Dallas College, Tarrant College, Collin College, the community college system actually has a free FREE program
We
to
know
help
that.
people to get training to be able to work in a biotech manufacturing facility, to understand how the science works in those things. And I just want to make sure that we want that word to get out there.
Yes, we do. This is, I love it. Thought-provoking conversation. Like, this information is so valuable. It's, you can't put a price on it. Free education on how to work in a field where they need people.
Well, I was going to say free education that will almost assuredly get you a job.
There you have
Right.
it.
You know.
Yes.
Right.
And so what do you know what those jobs start out at or pay or?
I don't know about
Okay.
that, but
Okay.
I do. But what I guess I was more asking because they just did a partnership with a company out in Fort Worth. I'm like, well, who's going to go from Dallas to Fort Worth?
Mhm.
I'm like, so they'll pay for transportation,
Oh, wow. That's lovely.
Oh,
right?
there you go.
See,
So
Yeah.
look it up. The good jobs grant at Dallas College, Tarrant College,
good
Collin
jobs
College.
grant.
Good jobs grant. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, that
Yeah.
is very valuable information.
Especially for someone maybe who is displaced or, aged out of maybe a certain career. This would be something that they could actually go into.
Mhm. So I don't know. It's just you're going to college. Right?
Yeah, you
Oh,
see
the
education.
question
So
was
the-
the question
but
was
the
that there's a
background,
background
yes.
going to be an issue if they have like a criminal background or something like that, or
Oh, that's
Yeah.
okay. A criminal background. So I'm not sure. I'll have to find out. You're actually the second person to ask me that, and I totally forgot to get the answer. I'll let you
Okay,
know.
so we have to come back to that. So now, and I love that. So now, so did you go to school? So this is always a big thing, especially with professionals. I meet many professionals who went to college. They may have gotten their bachelor's, their master's, but they are not working in the field that they went to college for. So, did you go to school to be in biotech, or how did you end up there?
No, not at all.
Okay.
So I went to Purdue undergrad, and
Uh-huh.
actually I took the test. I had started off in chemistry, so it is kind of ironic that I ended up back in science. But I'm like, we had 7:30 science labs on Saturdays, and
Wow.
I couldn't do that.
Right, yeah.
As
Exactly.
a college student,
So,
so I didn't
yeah.
want to do that. So I took the test, and it said that I would be good at public relations. So
There you
that's
go.
what I majored in, like a textbook. So I did that, but then I never wanted to leave a college campus, so I actually went into higher ed administration. So I
Mhm.
got a master's degree in that. So I did work in that for a little while before
Okay.
I was recruited to come to Dallas
Gotcha.
by IBM. So I worked at IBM in the technology field. Had never heard of the pharmaceutical biotech industry.
Right.
And
Yeah.
folks were like, I think you'll be good at doing that. Like, I don't know what that
It
is.
is, yeah.
I
But
had no
you're going to
clue.
learn today, and you did.
I did.
Right.
And they had what you call a ride along with the person. So I went with her. That she said, we're not hiring. 2 weeks later, I was hired.
Okay.
And
Really?
so I did not, long answer to your question. So no, I did not study that.
Okay.
There are people that are studying that now.
Right. Yes.
And
yeah.
also, I'm not exactly sure if they had a degree program back then for this type of work.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah.
And so then I went back to get my MBA at SMU, Southern
Okay.
Methodist University, and in marketing and in strategy. So I worked in marketing and strategy. For
See,
most
like
of
she's
it.
basically saying that she can coach you. So where are you from? Because you mentioned, Dallas and Fort Worth and IBM. And so where are you from?
So I'm Deanna from Indiana,
Okay. I love that.
Where in Indiana?
from Gary, Indiana.
Oh, wow. I used to
I
live.
was born in Terre Haute.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
small
And
world.
and I lived
Yeah.
in Gary for a spell. And so obviously that's the correlation
Yes.
because my ex, reached out and said, hey, she's here. And I'm like, okay, great. Yeah, she can come on the show. Yeah.
That's the connection. Okay.
That's the connection.
Okay.
Yes.
So what I want to,
Archie, hey there.
Yeah.
You're the reason why Miss Deanna's sitting here.
that's right.
Thank you,
That's right.
Archie.
Take a bow. I want to discuss the move from corporate America to entrepreneurship, because that is something that we definitely promote entrepreneurship on the show. We like to encourage people to spread their wings and fly, so to speak. So what drove you to become an entrepreneur and get out of corporate America?
Well, I am the child of an entrepreneur. So my
Yes.
father had one of the first African American owned steel fabrication companies.
Wow.
And so, like, what is that, right? So they're the people that build those long steel things that build bridges and girders and those
Right.
things. So it was pretty cool because he actually helped build bridges in Texas. I never knew back then that I would end up moving to Texas.
Right.
So I grew up never wanted to be an entrepreneur because I saw how much he had to work. And I
Yeah.
just said, I'll just lead somebody else's company.
Yeah.
But growing up with a worker bee as a parent
Mhm.
and seeing his success, and I didn't realize I didn't think about it, but he was really young then.
Yeah.
And so it's just in me. I have that entrepreneurial spirit. So I always do things. So I also have a stationery business.
Oh, okay.
So it's Providence Invitations and Gifts. And I used to have a storefront out in the Highland Village area
Mhm.
by Whole Foods.
Uh-huh.
And thankfully I got out of that right before COVID.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
yeah.
Your timing
So,
was
yeah.
perfect, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Who knew? But it just got to be a lot with working full time, and I still have my business, so it's still
Right.
online. But with and being a mom, that's a lot.
And say the name of the
Yeah.
business again.
The
Your station.
Providence Invitations and Gifts.
And how do people reach Providence Invitations and Gifts? Or how do they?
Oh gosh, it's too long. So just connect with me on LinkedIn, Deanna Armstrong on LinkedIn, or Armstrong Walker Coaching and Consulting on LinkedIn, or any of your social media outlets, and I'll share the link with you.
Okay,
Mhm.
great. So now I love that because entrepreneurial spirit is something that a lot of people have, but you have to have faith to step out, and say, okay, you know what, I'm not going to be dependent upon this check step, And so when I stepped out 24 years ago, I'm like, wow, I'm getting old, But when I stepped out, I remember thinking, okay, wow. And at that time, I was making six figures, and I was like, Lord, I'm about to go ahead and I'm going to do this, and I'm not going to have a check anymore. This is, and so, and I remember at the time, whom I was married to, they were like, you're crazy. You're walking away from a job that most people kill for, And I was like, yeah, but, I believe in me and I'm going to do this, So did you have that talk with yourself? Do you have a support system to help you make that step? It's where you're, like you said, you have your small business, but you're actually stepping out.
I just, my friend's wife asked me that the other day, like, what are you afraid of? What scares you? And I'm like, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess I'm just walking with the Lord. Just
That's right.
how serendipitous this came up. I just realized I hadn't spoken to Archie in months. When he texted me your information, it had been Christmas was the last time.
Right.
And I just said, hey, I started my business. I'm going to start a podcast. He's told me about you.
Right.
And I just feel like God has me.
That's right.
And making
Yeah.
these connections, and I trust him.
That's right. That's right. I love God's assurance. With him, we can be sure that we can accomplish our goals. We just have to have that faith.
Blessed assurance is, I believe, are the words that
Yeah.
the word uses. Blessed assurance.
That's right.
And it is key to have blessed assurance because it brings peace. That
That's
the,
right.
the thing that keeps us from being all that we can be, as I guess I'll borrow that from the U.S. Army commercial, but the thing that
Be
keeps
all
us
that you can be.
from being all that we can be, to me, in a nutshell, is well, I was in sales for a while too, and in fact, I even did Amway before it became one of those something. And
So I just learned something.
the head of Amway, his name was Ron Perrier.
Uh-huh.
Of course I went to see him speak, and he called it FOF and FOP.
FOF and FOP.
Yes.
Okay.
FOF is fear of failure,
Okay.
and FOP is fear of people.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
And fear is, according to the word, fear and faith won't reside in the same place. So fear is how, in whatever form it's in, is a lack of faith. And so getting out of our own way, as you said earlier, having the faith to, because the Bible also says, speak on things that are not as though they are. Having the faith to see something that's not there, to believe in something that you can't grab. That's where that area is where the entrepreneurial spirit resides.
That's right.
And we want to inspire people to latch on to that, to reach for it, because it is there's an edification that takes place when you believe in you and step out that you're not going to get from any other human being. That and unfortunately, a lot of us look for validation from other places, and that keeps us from having peace as well. But
right, they need a coach.
Yeah.
Right.
Wait. That solution?
Because as I posted today, the goal is to maximize your time, and you maximize your time by working with people who respect you, you know what I mean? And, and that's going to help push you along the way. You don't need to be wasting your time with people who don't believe in what you're doing. You need to align yourself with people who are on your level or above you, so that way you can get there. Don't waste time for everybody who's going to be like, okay. No, what are we doing? We got to make some things happen.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I was laughing. There was an old cartoon. I think it was a Warner Brothers cartoon. When the guy walked in, everybody, yes, CB. But everybody, you don't grow when people agree with you. And we've seen it all too. Unfortunately, we've seen it all too often with people of high position, in our community. And Bill Cosby or R. Kelly, or I could go on and on and on.
You don't think they have a coach? Are you saying they didn't have a coach? Or
well, they didn't have a coach, or they weren't listening to their coach. They weren't listening to their coach. One or the other.
Deanna Armstrong was their coach. So right, but so like, how many sessions? Like, because with anything, okay, do I need 3? Do I need 6? How does it work? Are you setting that up? I mean,
yes, and so to really have a change, it really starts at a minimum of 6 months of your time and your investment. And we usually meet weekly. For most people, we work together for up to a year or more.
Okay. And is it just 1 hour in that session, 1 hour a week? Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So when you said an hour, all of a sudden I saw somebody coming in lying on the sofa and you sitting there with the pen and pad. It's like,
no. Think of me like if you were trying to lose weight or get in shape and you had that coach, right? That trainer. Mm-hmm. You all work together, you develop a plan, you develop the strategy, but the only way you're going to have the impact that you want to have and the results that you want to have is if you do the work.
That's right.
And that's what the coach is. So I'm again, your sparring partner, just to make you think differently and to be respectfully challenge you in ways as well. But it depends. Like, I had a client that was working on their confidence. Mm-hmm. And it was so funny. I didn't even think about it, but I said, you need to go and think about Zoe Saldana and Colombiana. Mm-hmm. Just said it flippantly, kind of. Our next session, she said, I went and watched that movie. And she was a bad chick. Yeah. And then she started naming all these things that she was doing, like just little bitty things to figure out how do you tweak that. Right. Or if somebody is having issues with their team and their communication style, let's talk about that.
Right. Yeah.
What's going on? What's going on behind? What's the question behind the question? Because a lot of times when people ask a coach to come in and what they say the problem is, that's not the problem.
It's something else. The
question behind the question, and you have to dig a little deeper, and you have to create a safe space where people feel comfortable in letting their guard down.
Is there a different approach between being someone's personal coach and being someone's executive coach? Is there a
That's a good question.
So a personal coach, like on life coach issues?
Yeah, like a life coach issue.
I would say yes, because it would be more business oriented. So you could have a life coach, you could have a personal coach. I mean, an executive coach. People have cancer coaches for cancer survivors. Mm-hmm. There are all types of coaches out there.
Right. Yeah. And so your coaching, if a person you know, are there grants that you've gotten or tried to get? I know you're brand new. I'm just asking a question. Like I'm like, she's like, don't ask me a question. But are you going to like? But maybe you know, because maybe there are people out there who need a coach, maybe can't afford a coach. So you know, people are always looking for, you know, are there some grants out there that you could get where you could provide services to someone who maybe could not? I mean, again, we're talking about executive level, yes, but you know, there are other people out there who are not there yet. They're aspiring to get there.
Right.
And need a little, you know, a little push, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure there's some grants out there, but also a lot of times what we do is we work with community organizations and give them free help.
There you have it. See? Okay.
So I think I was telling your dad, like I had met the person that leads the community engagement for the State Fair of Texas.
Uh-huh.
And so she was asking me maybe I could start working with some of her community leaders.
Gotcha.
And so I'm like, well, I did not know the State Fair of Texas was a big grant for community organizations, like for
Right.
nonprofits. I didn't know that.
Yes.
So I learned that. So I said, well, I think I need to go and see what you all do. So they just had their big engagement day like 2 weeks ago. So now I have an understanding of what they do.
Uh-huh.
People that are passionate about passionate and doing great things for our community in South Dallas and then in the Dallas County area. So we'll work together and figure out how can I start helping some of those leaders and shaping their vision and continuing to move their businesses even, you know,
That's the next level.
to the next level. Yes.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily profit. So yes.
Right. Exactly.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah,
Very
so-
good. So you've been here for how long?
Dallas.
Texas. Or
Texas,
Dallas.
almost 30 years.
Okay, neat. So you've been here a long time.
And
Yeah.
my family lives in North Carolina.
Okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
She was in her mother's womb and then came out and she was in Texas. So
Yeah.
Yes. And my mother lived in Texas
That's
for
right.
a long time. She just moved like 3 years ago.
Okay.
So
Yes.
Did she move back to Indiana?
No, North Carolina.
North Carolina. Okay.
Yeah, she just left on Monday to go back. So
Okay.
have you been back to Indiana lately?
no, I don't go back too often. Well, there's a big oncology conference in Chicago
Mhm.
every June, so I will go back. You know, when I'm there, and I'll go visit my aunt, my mother's sister.
Oh, okay.
Right. I'll be going to Chicago in October.
Oh,
I'll be seeing Escher. No.
oh, good.
Yes, so that'll be fun.
Yes,
Yes.
I'll be seeing him in Dallas. Can't wait.
Okay, there you.
Chicago would have been cool.
Yeah, but yeah. So, well, the ladies in the family, we opened it up to the men this year, but so the ladies are going. We get together every year, and it started because of my grandmother. When she was sick, we wanted to spend time with her. We were getting together, and we just kept it going. So we always get together in October. So that's like our trip,
Oh, I
and we
like
just
that.
we pick a different spot.
Hear that, sisters? My sisters, if you're listening.
Yes,
Yes.
there you go. Y'all need to pick a spot, get together
Yes.
once a year, and go hang out.
Yes, I like that.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'll be here all alone. So.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I did watch a podcast, and I don't think you're alone.
No.
He'll make sure. Yeah, he'll have somebody to
I
fill
thought you
in.
had a new boo. That's all.
Oh, that's true. That's
Well,
true.
I'm just
What's old but new and new?
Oh, see, that's a different old joke, huh?
That part, yes.
No, see, that's every podcast. She hasn't done it today. She's
I
slipping.
know. I'm
You know.
slipping on it. I'm
Yeah.
gonna find an old joke.
Yeah, she does an old joke every. Although you're starting to resemble that remark a little bit. So
Mhm.
You know,
I
how-
know.
No, not at all.
Yeah, yes, yep. I'm getting old myself.
how does it feel to be getting on in years?
I know, right? To be a half a century. So I'll turn 50 in September. And so I'm planning, y'all. Everybody, I'm planning. I promise by the end of this week, I'm gonna have a party. I got the theme though. Kim shaking her head. The theme is going to be coming into my 50s, but I want everyone to wear African garb. So we're gonna have a lot of kings and queens in the house on that evening. So that's what we're gonna do.
All right.
Wherever it's gonna be at. So if you guys are watching, you have a venue that y'all think I need to check out, send
Yeah.
them to me.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a venue for a party.
Yeah, I am looking so forward to your 50th birthday party.
Yes, that means you're really gonna be
That's right, I'm
feeling
really
old
gonna
that
be
day.
old.
You're gonna really be like, oh,
Second thought, I'm not looking forward to it at all.
I know. Lord, you're gonna be what? So now, this conversation is very enlightening. Because I think the biggest takeaways is realizing that everybody does need a coach, someone to help get them to that next level. Because some people will stay stagnant because they don't have that, and out of that frustration, maybe they do fall back, become in a spot that they takes them longer to get out of, and then even learning about, the free college education for biotech, that's huge. And those are big, big takeaways, and just, I love how smart you are, how educated you are. Like you said, you walk in the room, you command it. And that means that, that person who's on watching here, if they want to be in that power position, you've got to believe it. I know that when I walk into a room, I'm very confident in me. I'm confident in what I'm doing. I may be searching for words sometimes. Doesn't mean I don't know what I'm talking about.
Right.
But I'm confident in me. I'm confident in my abilities and what I'm able to do. And that you just have to believe in yourself. And I think a lot of people do not do that, even if they have made it to that higher level, like you said.
And stuff, being a Black woman in the South, in corporate America, is tough.
Right? Yeah, because there's some rooms that we can't.
It's tough.
Yes.
So I get it. It can bruise your ego a little bit.
Yes.
Do
just
you
smidgen.
run across people? I mean, do you end up coaching people that have problem believing in themselves?
Absolutely. I think that happens a lot. Just life, right? You
Yeah.
touch that stove, you get burned. I guess you don't get burned on the stove anymore or in the oven, right? It's all.
If you get burned by the coffee at McDonald's.
Lord.
Yeah, because we cook a lot less. In fact, Hoppy's youngest, my niece, she's 21 and she can't even boil water. Literally, she
Wow.
cannot cook at all. And it's like
Yeah.
she's always whining that her mom's trying to kill her.
Convenience
Like,
is
learn to cook.
nice. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, do you cook? I mean, are you a good cook?
What? Yes, I cook.
Okay.
I like my food.
Well, I mean, do other people like your food? That's the thing.
That's important.
That's important.
The kids eat my food. I guess so. Yes.
So how many kids do you have?
I have 12.
Wow. Okay.
No,
Go ahead,
I'm just
girl.
kidding. I have 2.
Let's see. I sat here and didn't even. I was like, I'm gonna stay composed.
2.
Well, but sometimes look at you have people that have a lot of kids, and you have blended
Blended
families.
families,
You
yeah.
add them on along the way.
Yeah.
So that's not too bad. So how old are the kids?
I have a 15-year-old daughter
Uh-huh.
going into the 10th grade and an 11-year-old son.
Okay.
Mhm.
So this year, it was different for me. I felt like I was forgetting something because my baby turned 18. And so while I'm having conversations with people who have kids, like, oh, I got to get school shoes, I got to get supplies. And I'm like, wow, I didn't have to do that this year. I mean, this is pretty cool,
Empty nester?
An empty nester, yeah.
I'm not
Congratulations.
shopping for back to school. This is now, of course, the stresses are a little bit different because I'm on him. Hey, have you done this for college? Have you done this? Yeah. But yes, I was like, oh, I feel relaxed this year.
Yeah, it is.
Nice.
It is the empty nester thing has its advantages.
Yes, it does. But then I got a dog, and so I still have a responsibility. I got a 2-year-old.
Why'd you do that?
I wasn't thinking, but he's so precious. So
Okay.
but I was not thinking. I mean,
That's a lot. You're now supposed to be just able to travel. It's a small dog, so you can take.
no,
it
no, he's like, I say Snow is
Well,
probably about.
He's small. He's a
about
Maltese.
he's a Maltese, probably 9-10
Yeah,
pounds.
he can travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I'm going somewhere, I'm not going to be responsible for nobody. So he might have to be boarded. I can take him to my brother's house.
Yes. Yes, you can. He'll fit right in.
Yeah. So my brother, his son, they have chickens and dogs and
Oh,
cats. They
Yeah.
just got, they love animals.
nice.
And the partridge in a pear tree.
Yes. So
But,
so he could be boarded over there and he'd be just fine. They
That's
love
right.
him anyway.
That's right.
Awesome.
He can go over there and he can just kick it with all the with all the other
All the other pets.
all the other pets.
So if somebody wants to become a coach, did you get a certification? Did I miss that?
Did you have to be certified?
Okay.
Yes.
And so how long does it take? Because I know that we had a counselor on here.
Yes.
And she was not fond of coaches because she felt like they didn't have to have the education and the training that went into being a licensed counselor.
Yeah,
so
she
to
felt-
be being a coach doesn't require as much tutelage, but what does it take to become a coach, a type of coach?
A
that you are?
certified coach. Yeah.
Well, first, let's address. There's a difference between coaching and counseling. I don't want to be a counselor. Right?
Okay, right.
A coach is forward thinking,
Mm-hmm.
looking into the present and the future. How do I stop self-sabotage? Different
Right.
things like that. Whereas a counselor is definitely a trade certified professional. They're looking into your past, looking into your present, and they're really like helping you through things.
Right,
In
right.
coaching, we believe that you're whole,
Mm-hmm.
you're resourceful, and you're capable.
Right.
So I'm not answering any of your questions for you. I'm actually just helping guide you so that you can figure out things on your own. Whereas
Gotcha.
a counselor may be more interjecting
Right.
into that. And so there are different types of, so the coaching certification, there are different programs and they take different lengths of time.
Uh-huh.
But in order to be what's called a ICF certified coach, you do have to do that basic training, but you also have to have 100 coaching hours.
Okay.
Wow.
And
okay.
so,
Yeah.
so you have to do quite a bit of coaching, and then you also have to have mentor coaching hours as well on top
Got
of
you.
that.
So they're just not letting you loose and be like, hey, I'm a coach.
No.
I can have an opinion of it, but you don't have the certificate.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And I think the moral of this story is
Okay.
for those looking for a coach, make sure that they are certified, because there are. I think that was the counselor's point when she was on, is that there are a lot of people out there calling themselves coaches,
And they're not certified.
That aren't.
And so are we allowed to ask costs before we close it out, or we want them to call? I mean,
No, I don't think we would talk.
Okay,
costs.
so we're not going to talk about that today. But if you want to know the cost for such coaching and to build your career, then you definitely need to reach out so you can make that happen. And we are sipping on a Chateau.
Yes, we are
And-
sipping on a Cabernet Sauvignon. It's the Coppola, and somebody's trying to call me, and we're not answering the phone.
Right,
we're
yeah.
sipping, it is the, what's the first name, Kim? It's something Coppola.
Yeah. It's a Chateau.
Oh no, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. We were on the other one.
Yeah.
That's right. We didn't even open the other one. See, Kim was like, I know what I was doing.
And so every week, while they're trying to figure out what we're drinking for the
Yes.
audience, we always have a glass of wine and we always share
Share, yes.
whom we're partaking
This
in.
is
you know,
a Chateau Saint Michel. It is a 2020 Cabernet Sauvignon.
yes.
You know,
So something nice. He's popular tonight.
I guess.
Tell your boo you is on the air. No. She's not,
and on that note,
show is over with. So, no.
no.
But so we definitely want to always, let people know who we're patronizing. And again, every week we are looking for entrepreneurs to come on. We want people to come on and talk about their passions, what makes them tick, what makes them great, and how they can make the audience great. Every week, I love the fact that we get to learn something.
Yes.
Every week.
Yes.
It's a
And
successful show.
thank you, Deanna, for coming on and look at me making you.
You're welcome.
See, even that handshake was professional.
That's
Oh.
right.
It was.
It did have power.
It had
Let me
power.
see. Let me try it. Oh
Right.
yeah.
It had power. That's I'm
What
here.
is that
I'm
I
here
know,
to,
right? That's right.
and as the clock on the wall is saying, we don't have to go home, but we got to get the out of here. So on behalf of my lovely co-host and our lovely guest,
That's
Deanna
right.
Armstrong, and again, it's Armstrong Walker
Coaching
and Consulting. Yes. So if you think you need a coach, and according to Deanna, if you are executive
leadership.
level,
Executive,
you need a
yeah.
coach.
You
You know,
definitely do.
So find one so you can improve your the level of your success. Until next week, you want to take.
Love yourself so you can love somebody else.
That's right. That's right. We will be back. Same facts time, same facts channel
That's
next
right.
Wednesday, and we're doing better with the ish. We might even.
We did good.
We did
came
good.
on. So we're gonna try to beat our time next week.
That's right. That's right. So until next week, y'all. Thank you for checking us out, and
Yes.
come back next week.
Appreciate it.
And
And we have
will-
our guest next week is gonna be awesome as well.
That's right.
So, yeah.
that's right. That means you were awesome, because she said awesome as well.
Well, thank
well,
you.
yes.
Thank you.
We will see y'all next week. Bye, y'all.
Bye, you guys.
Hey, this is Charlie,
This is JR.
host of Speaking the Facts with Charlie and JR, broadcasting live each week on Wednesday at 7 p.m. from Fishbowl Studios.
Log on to hear us speaking the facts on current events, family, and finances.
So be sure to log on each week on Wednesday at 7 p.m. to catch Speaking the Facts with Charlie and JR.
Tune in.